morning. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news channel. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Vakil, the top headlines. There's monsoon cheer for Indian markets as Nifty reclaims 10,750. All sectors gain, India Wix declines. Another day of open interest surge in NIT technologies along with several others, but few retailers cut prices for the ninth day even as the petroleum minister says there is no question of rolling back on deregulation. And the government decides to initiate a probe into the recent spate of resignations by statutory auditors.
Okay, those are the top headlines at this hour. Let's also tell you what's happening with the markets. Finally, some respite coming in the last two trading sessions. Market is only building up to the gains that one saw in yesterday's trade. However, the futures, the Nifty futures have once again slipped into a discount. They're currently trading at a discount of 7 points, but Nifty have been hovering about the levels of 10,750. And remember, majority of your sectoral indices this morning are trading in the positive territory, and it's just not the benchmarks. Even the broader markets are trading with good amount of gain. So overall, it's looking like a good day because the volatility too has corrected after a sharp correction that one saw. Let's just pull up the India Wix. That's trading with cuts of almost 4% currently. What's going to be in focus today? It is Thursday, so Bank Nifty weekly options expiry day, and Bank Nifty will definitely be in focus at least in the last hour of trade, and it's doing pretty well. Remember, Bank Nifty has bounced back from its 20-day moving average this week. Earlier this week, we did see 20 DMA getting breached here, and in fact now Bank Nifty is trading above all its key moving averages, so be 20, 50 or 100-day moving average. In terms of option strikes, 26,500 call strike for today's expiry has seen some bit of unwinding in the opening session, and the most active strikes as of now are 26,700 call, 26,800 call, as well as the 26,400 put. So let's see where the expiry takes place. The current trend definitely suggests it could be 200 points anywhere upside or downside from the current levels, but overall the market momentum definitely seems to be on the upside. Quickly, let me tell you what's happening for the Nifty option strikes. The maximum open interest has now moved to 10,600 put from 10,200. Remember, when we started the June series, 10,200 was sitting with the maximum OI. What does that tell you? Probably we've made a base somewhere about 10,550 because the premium is about 60 to 65 rupees for the 10,600 put. So 10,550, 540 will be a key level to be watched out for the series now. And in today's session, some out of the money call strikes like 10,800 as well as the 10,900 have seen some bit of addition. On the put side, writing is back for 10,600 level. Even the 10,700 put striker gum so far has seen some OI addition.
Right. Well, we have some usual suspects on our list, and of course, Just Dial, NIT Technologies, and KPIT Tech is right at the top. As we've been noticing over the previous few days as well, there's been a surge in open interest, along with the fact that, well, at least as far as NIT Tech and KPIT Tech go, we've seen an advance for the second straight day after some weakness seeping through in the sessions prior. DCB Bank and Indian Bank also seeing a surge in open interest, but not too much to speak for when it comes to its underlying in Indian Bank. Once again, Navneet, it'll be about the tech stocks and what they do in trade in the mid-cap space.
That's right. They seem to have bounced back with the markets also trading in the positive territory. We'll get you views going on individual stock futures on the show from our experts. But before we get them on the show, here's a reminder for you all. If you have any queries in the futures and options market, please call us now on 022 4540-4141. Write to us on Twitter, Facebook, or for the ones who are watching our show on YouTube, you can write your queries on that platform also. Well, let's welcome our F&O experts then. Gaurav Bissa of LKP Securities and Ashish Chaturmohta of Sanctum Wealth are here with us. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen, and appreciate you joining us once again today on Bloomberg Quint. Ashish, let me come to you first. Your expiry call last Thursday actually worked. Today is the weekly options expiry day for Bank Nifty. What's the call?
Good morning, Navneet. So I think there can be a very strong short covering which can extend in Bank Nifty towards 26,800, 850 zone. So we expect at least a 200-point kind of rally from current levels in Bank Nifty. I think ideally for initiating this long, 26,480 should be kept as a stop loss. So one can initiate a long at current levels and use any dip towards 26,550 to average on the long positions. 26,480 should be the stop loss, and 26,820 is the target we are expecting in Bank Nifty in today's expiry.
All right. Well, that's the view on your Nifty. Gaurav, good morning to you as well. How are you viewing trade on the indices right now?
Good morning. I have a similar view. However, I would wait for some time. I would not place my trade right here for the reason that Bank Nifty is open with a gap, and we have seen that whenever there's a gap up or gap down opening, it tries to retest on the expiry day. So there's a possibility that if Bank Nifty trades below 26,550, 560 or other 5670, there's a possibility we may slip towards 26,450 kind of levels. So I would buy Bank Nifty, but not at these levels. Either on pullback, I would buy. 26,600, if trade is sustained, we can see some bounce back coming in. But overall, the trend is positive. Strong resistance at 26,700. This would not in favor at this point in time. I would wait for a dip and then buy Bank Nifty.
Okay, that's the call in Bank Nifty, but how to play this market via options? Let's shift our focus to Options Corner and check with our experts what sort of option strategy do they have for today on Nifty or on Bank Nifty. So Ashish, let me come to you first. I guess you have a strategy on Nifty.
Yeah, so I think, Navneet, there is a clear breakout on weekly charts about 10,700 mark, which was continuously acting as a resistance point. We saw a dip from 10,700 to almost 10,550 and then finally gave a breakout. So now I think clearly the base has been formed, and now we might see a strong short covering which can extend till 10,850 to 10,900 zone. Keeping that in mind, I think one should initiate a long position in 10,800 call option at somewhere around 78 to 80 premium. On downside should kept 50 as a stop loss. On upside, we are expecting this option premium to hit around 130, 135 in next 3 to 4 trading sessions.
Right. Gaurav, how about you? What are you doing with options in today's day of trade?
I would be a buyer in put option in Bank Nifty, but not at the current price. Buy 26,500 put option above 40, have a stop loss of 25 on the upside. Targets of 65 can be seen.
Okay, so those are a couple of option strategies coming from our technical experts. Ashish has an option strategy on Nifty, 10,800 call, and Gaurav on the 26,500 strike of Bank Nifty. But in terms of individual stock futures, Agam highlighted there are a lot of IT stocks that are buzzing in trade. We'll discuss them, but before that, let me just ask our experts what are the individual stock future strategies that they have for our viewers today. Ashish, what are you betting on?
So Navneet, first pick would be a long idea on Dabur. You know, in the FMCG basket, this is one stock which is considerably seeing a strong open interest and continuously trading near its all-time high. So which is indicating a very positive strength. With a stop loss below 380, I think Dabur is a clear buy for an upside target of 395 to 400 levels. Mahindra is the second stock which is looking very strong. We have been recommending this stock also since 800 odd zone, and clearly no signs of reversal is being seen. In fact, in today's trading session, we are again witnessing good open interest at an all-time high. So I think Mahindra is looking good for 960 target. So this could be initiated as a buy idea with a stop around 904 zone. On Bajaj Finserv is one stock which is looking very, very promising. You know, we have seen almost 8 to 10% open interest addition post expiry in the stock in Bajaj Finance as well as Bajaj Finserv, and I think the way the price volume action is indicating, I think this stock is going to cross its previous all-time high, which is somewhere around 6100 levels. So this could be initiated as a buy with a stop loss below 5880, and upside 6100 is a target we are expecting in Bajaj Finserv.
All right, Gaurav, and you're going long on 2 pharma stocks, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yes, pharma as a theme has not performed that well, and we have seen a lot of short positions getting built. There has been good amount of corrections. Having said, there are many of the names that are trading near the crucial support level. So there can be a technical pullback coming in. I am not praying for an entire reversal in this space, but yes, there can be a technical bounce back that can be seen in individual names. First would be on Divi's Lab, where we have seen some amount of bounce back coming from levels of 1040, 1045. Some OI addition has also been seen. A swing has been made today. If it's sustained level of 1065, a smooth ride till 1100 cannot be ruled out. One can have a stop loss of 1055. Second would be buy on Ajanta Pharma, where we have seen significant shorts getting built. There has been a significant correction from 1400 odd mark to around 900, 910. It can now again bounce back. A small bounce towards 950, 960 can be seen. One can buy Ajanta futures with a small stop loss of 920.
Okay, so those are the individual stock future strategies coming from our experts. But let's also discuss some stock futures which are buzzing in trade. I want to pull up NCC, and I guess that snapped the 3-day losing streak. So far, NCC was not having a great week, but today we've seen some bounce back coming in for this counter. Well, NCC, if you look at the futures currently, they're trading somewhere about 111 is the cash price. The stock will just come up on your screen. Ashish, what is it indicating on the screen right now? Is it short covering, or one can look to take any fresh position here?
So, every time the stock hits somewhere around 100, 105, it takes a lot of support, but at the same time, we are witnessing a lot of selling pressure around 120, 125 zone. So, considering that we are in the midst of this, this range, I think a move towards 117, 118 could not be ruled out. If someone is looking for a very short-term, intraday or 1 to 2 days kind of trading, then I think the view should be on the positive side with 108 as a stop loss, and 117, 18 could be the immediate target in NCC.
All right. Well, the two stocks that I've been harping about since morning is KPIT and NIT Technologies. Can we pull up both the futures and see what they're doing? And that's KPIT Technologies for you. It's currently at around 269 June futures. Can we also take a look at the NIT Technology futures? That's also, its underlying is up around 1.5%, and currently trading at around 1,065.66. Gaurav, are you tracking any of these two counters? What's going on with them? Because we did see some weakness over in the last week, and over the past 2 days we started to see strength come back in two of these counters. What's going on here, and how are you reading the underlying variables?
You talking of NIT Tech?
Yes, NIT Technologies and KPIT Technologies if possible.
Well, as KPIT, a lot of these IT names, we saw a good amount of unwinding happening at higher levels. Just when the tide turned towards short position getting built, we saw a small spike coming in, and then that created a lot of panic among the short sellers. If you talk of KPIT first, this is one of the very strong mid-cap IT names. We have not seen any sort of correction coming in last couple of quarters. There have been fall from top of about 4-5%, but that cannot be termed as a correction. Overall, the trend is quite strong. For KPIT, one can have a stop loss of 260, buy around levels of 264. On the upside, it can retest levels of 275, 278, a strong hurdle over there. And Anitech is another name that has been in the momentum. But I would say there are multiple resistances ahead. There's a strong resistance at levels of 1,075, 1,080. If that is taken out, probably we are looking at 1120, 1130 kind of levels coming in. But among the two, I think KPIT is better, and dips in the name can be utilized to build fresh long positions for 4 to 5% up.
Okay, KPIT Tech, the IT pack seems to have bounced back, but the other space which is doing well is the metal space, the Nifty Metals Index. Let's just pull up that. I guess it's the top sectoral gainer also for the day. We've seen strong gains for a couple of individual stocks, so 1.8% higher, almost at the highs of the day. Jindal Steel and Power is doing pretty well, and we know JSW Steel hit its all-time high levels in today's session. Ashish, would you be playing this space? If yes, which is the stock that's looking good on the charts?
So if you look at JSW Steel, it is continuously showing an uptrend despite a lot of volatility being witnessed in the entire metal space. But if you look at JSW Steel, it is continuously making a higher top, higher bottom formation, and today at its all-time high with a very strong OI base. So I think JSW Steel, there can be a good amount of short covering which can extend till 355 zone. So if I had to take a bet within this metal name, I think with a stop below 340, JSW Steel could be looked for an upside target of 355. But one thing I would like to notice here is that Dabur is one stock which is considerably seeing good volume action, and there was yesterday good amount of block which we saw in the stock. So I think here there is a lot of buying interest, so this going forward can see a good 3 to 4% kind of upside from current levels.
All right, it's time to shift focus to queries that are coming in from our users. We are viewers. Let's take the first one from YouTube. It's from Gaurav Bothra. He says he has Dr. Reddy's June 2000 call at 82. His question is, should it be held or sold? Can we take a look at Dr. Reddy's 2000 call, June call right now, and see where the premium is currently sitting at? His entry point is at around 82, so he's sitting at a substantial loss right now. Ashish, what would you advise Gaurav should do with his position?
So he has to wait because somehow this pharma stocks after a long correction is showing some signs of stability. We cannot say with confidence that whether this is a structural trend which is being visible, but yeah, in a shorter term we can expect some short covering, and if that happens, I think even Dr. Reddy can see a move towards 2030, 2035 kind of zone. Around those levels, he should try to take exit position from this call option.
Okay, that's the view coming in on Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. Let's move on and take some more queries. I think we've got Mr. P.S. Krishnan on the phone line with us. Hi, Mr. Krishnan. He's calling us from Chennai. Good morning to you, and thanks a ton for calling us today. Tell us what's your query on.
Sure. Thanks for connecting. My query is around, I have queries around two derivatives.
Okay.
I am looking to buy NMDC and ICICI Prudential Life Insurance July futures.
Okay.
So I just want to know, how does it look like?
So you want to take a fresh position in July futures of NMDC as well as ICICI Pru, right?
That's right, yes, because both of them have fallen quite significantly in the last couple of weeks.
Fair enough. I'll take your query to Gaurav. Gaurav, what would you advise Mr. Krishnan to do? Should he go ahead and take a fresh long position on NMDC July futures or for ICICI Pru?
For NMDC, I think he can buy. We have seen a good bounce back coming in from crucial support levels of 112 and 13. One can have a stop loss of 113 on the upside. Targets of 122 cannot be ruled out, so that can be the risk reward. ICICI Pro, I would still give it a time. We have seen that the stock has been trading in a range, and just because it has fallen too much and now it's trading near the support levels, one cannot play for a bounce back. The supports are seen at 400. That's the only positive, but I don't see any short-term reversal coming in. I would not be too interested. Instead of that, if he can buy Bharat Finance, I think it's on the verge of a good breakout. That can be a decent trade for 2 days. It's quoting at 1178, 1180. One can expect 1210 kind of targets coming in. One can have a small stop loss of 10 rupee and be long in that name.
Okay, well, we'll shift focus to Facebook queries, and we have Girish Kumar, one of our regulars. His question is on State Bank of India, which did move up quite substantially yesterday. He says that he's bought 2 lots of SBI's futures at 270.7. His question is, what should he do? Ashish, what levels should he keep an eye on right now?
So I think 268 is an important support level. So ideally it should not break those levels, and if it is breaking, then only he should be looking for exiting his long position. But the chances that the stock might cross 275, 276 in this expiry is a little high. So I think 268 should be the stop loss, and 275, 276 could be the immediate target which you can expect out of SBI.
Okay, that's on State Bank of India. Let's move on and take some more queries. We've got Praveen Rana. He sent us a message on WhatsApp. He's saying he's got 50 lots of Bank Nifty 26,500 call strike. I'm presuming that's for today's expiry. He's not given actually more details with regard to the premium he entered at, but he definitely wants to know what to do with this position. Gaurav, I'll come to you. I'm presuming it is today's expiry 26,500 call strike for which he's holding almost 50 lots. According to you, what should he do?
Since he's already in the money, I would say have a stop loss of 26,600 on the spot side. And if that is sustained, we can see some 30-40 point more upside coming in. Then he can book the call option in profit, assuming that he is bought around the lower levels. I think he can hold on with the stop loss of 26,600 in Bank Nifty on the spot side.
Okay, moving on YouTube, we have Shailesh Majgaonkar. And his question is on Reliance June futures. Is it a good time to buy these futures? Ashish?
Yeah, looks interesting. In fact, if market has to sustain further momentum from these levels, I think Reliance has to contribute. And the way it has formed a strong base somewhere around 920 odd zone after consolidating for almost last 5-6 months, I think there exists a strong possibility this time Reliance might hit levels around 990,000 zone. So keeping that in mind, I think this is a good idea to initiate a long. As far as stop loss is concerned, I think positionally 940 should be kept as a stop loss. He should buy some positions at current levels and use any dip towards 950 to 53 to average on his long position. 940 should be the stop loss. 990,000 could be the June expiry target.
Okay, that's the view in Reliance Industries. Remember, it's been providing some bit of support to Nifty in the last few days. In fact, even when the markets were trading weak. I'm going to take the next query on from YouTube. James Matthew writes to us. He shorted Nifty 10,600 put strike at a premium of 61. He's asking if he should hold it. Ashish, I'll come back to you since I guess you have a bullish view and you also advocated buying the 10,800 call. So if somebody is already sold the 10,600 put strike, the premium is somewhere about the same what it's currently being quoted at 60, 61. Should he be holding on to his position?
Yeah, he should be holding on to his position, and he should be cutting this position only once if Nifty futures break 10,700 zone.
Okay.
All right. Well, the other stock I want to address is Just Dial, and now Just Dial again has had extremely volatile moves over the past 1 week or so. It's up as much as 3.6% right now. That's its underlying. Its open interest is again surging 18% at around 553. Gaurav, is the up move intact in Just Dial, or do you see some skepticism building in? In that case, how would you approach the stock right now?
Well, the bounce back can carry. It's a technical bounce back we are talking about, and yes, it can carry. I think people already bought. One can hold on. There's a possibility that mid test levels of 570 on an immediate basis. Maybe in 2 days we can see 570 kind of levels coming in. It's already corrected a lot, finding some strong supports at 530 kind of zones. I think this is name that can either be added in on dips, or somebody's already bought. One can hold on. I think 570 is on the card.
Okay, that's the view on Just Dial, which is surging in today's session. I think we've got Vishwanath who's on the line with us, and he has a query. Hi Vishwanath, good morning. Thanks a lot for calling us. Tell us what's your query on.
Yes. Good morning, Bloomberg. I've bought Bank Nifty 26,400 put at the rate 150 each.
Okay.
3 lots.
Okay.
So it's currently trading at around 10 rupees. Shall I dispose it immediately, or shall I hold for until 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock?
Wow, even the 10 rupees with the time value of money may get eroded, but I think I'll take this question to our experts. Ashish, what would you advise? The entire premium he paid almost 150, that's been eroded to almost 10 rupees now.
So honestly speaking, there is nothing to advise at these levels, because it has already seen a sharp correction and now it has come to 10. So what I would suggest is keep a stop around 26,680. If it crosses, then you need to exit. But what I would suggest, if you are buying a call or a put option, you need to understand that the option premium gets eroded very, very fast. So the ideal strategy should be, if you are buying a call or put, say suppose the premium you are paying is $100, ideally the stop loss should be somewhere around 50, not more than that. So 50% stop loss is more than enough. If the trade is going to be right, I think this stop loss of 50% will not get hit, and you will eventually see your options moving towards your target prices. So don't keep these kind of deep stop losses for options.
All right, so there you have it, and that's should be the general approach of how you would be dealing with options, considering you're buying them. Time decay is a very important factor, and one must keep an eye on that factor when buying, or for that matter, selling options. But let's also address what's happening with Vedanta right now. Now, Vedanta is the top gainer on the index, and over the past 1.5 sessions, we've seen some traction come through in a lot of these metal counters. For now, we're seeing about a 4.5% increase in open interest for Vedanta. It's up 2.6%. Gaurav, how would you approach Vedanta right now? Is in case someone wants to put in fresh longs, what levels would you be watching out for?
Vedanta, I think one can buy about 254. There's the immediate resistance, the immediate hurdle is seen at around 253, 254. Buy about 254. The targets can be around 262, 263, and the stop loss would be around 249.5, 250.
Okay, well, the metal counters have been doing pretty well. Ashish, Jet Airways has gone up in trade. Is there any trade there that one can take?
No, so for last 3 weeks it is trying to form some base somewhere around 380 zone, and I think 390 zone, and in fact it has crossed last 4 days high, which can, you know, result in some kind of short covering which can extend till 435, 440 zone, because if you look at in today's session, almost 7% open interest addition has already been witnessed, and good amount of price action is also being seen. So I think that can lead to some short covering which can be towards 440, 445 if you are you know, but it will be a risky trade. So if you are a strict stop loss follower, then I think ideally 408 should be kept as a stop loss, and 445, 450 could be expected as a target.
All right. But I think we're reaching towards the conclusion of the show, so I'm going to quickly take you know, some interesting trends that our experts have picked up. So Gaurav, are you witnessing anything interesting over the past 15-20 odd minutes that you'd like to talk about right now?
It would be Bharat Finance. I think it's on the verge of a good breakout. It has been yo-yoing between 1170 and 1140. It's now coming out of the range. One can have a stop loss of 1165 on the upside. 1200 kind of levels are becoming quite possible. That is the one. And then Bajaj Finance, that is another name. It's again trading in a range. Coming out of that range, one can have a stop loss of 2155 on the upside. Targets of 2250 can be seen.
Okay, that's Bajaj Finance. Just going to take one more query. It's come on WhatsApp. Suresh Matthew has written to us. He's bought one lot of Asian Paints 12/20 June put strike, and for which he's paid a premium of almost 7.3 rupees. He wants to know what to do with it. The underlying currently trades at almost 12.80, and that's the 12/20 put strike. The current premium is somewhere about 7 rupees. Ashish, what would you advise him to do?
So we are positive on Asian Paints, on Berger Paints, and generally I think this has seen some correction, but now I think it is in a process of creating a strong base. In fact, positionally we believe Asian Paints and Berger Paints has a potential to deliver at least 8 to 10% kind of upside from current levels. So I think avoid any kind of short positions or buying puts in these names.
Ashish, anything interesting that you're tracking?
So one thing which I am observing, you know, in last 2 days of trading session, now a lot of those stocks which have seen a sharp cut, they are going to see a sharper short covering rally. So you know, those stocks which are good in quality and where we feel structural trend is there, they might be slow mover at this point of time, but still I would suggest to have a position on those names, because that gives you safety. But definitely those who are stuck in these names where they have seen a sharp cut, these stocks might see a good 4 to 5% kind of, you know, a short covering rally, and it will give a good opportunity to reduce your exposure in these names.
You know, it's visible in a couple of the cement counters. India Cement's touched its 52-week low. It's bounced back from there. It's trading with gains of almost 3%. Dalmia Bharat, which saw fresh shots in yesterday's trade, that was down even in a good market, and that too is seeing good gains.
So now, Navneet, if you look at BEL, this stock has seen a sharp correction from 200 odd levels to almost 110. So almost 45-50% kind of erosion, and now you are seeing some recovery. So this can extend to some level, but it's better to reduce your exposure on these rallies rather than creating a fresh longs.
Okay, well, there you have it, guys. BEL, stocks like those which have seen a substantial correction recently and which are on a little bit of an up move. But with that, I'm going to thank both our experts, Ashish as well as Gaurav, for joining us and taking us through some of our viewer queries as well as their own views. And it's a wrap on this show of the F&O, but lots more lined up, so stay tuned in a Bloomberg Quint.